come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
My question was, I want everyone to go around with this question as well, yeah, with an answer. What do you think you can offer towards the my generation? We'll start with.
In what context? What context?
In terms of anything. In terms of what do you think you can? What do you think you can?
Advice?
Yeah.
In
terms of anything.
Jobs or money? What are you talking about?
Anything.
Right.
You only have harm, loss, and injury. Harm, loss, and injury.
And crime, yeah?
There's no crime here. Everyone's crime, bro. He's got weed. I haven't seen no tools today. What we got? Light it up. Light it up. Light it up. Can you not? Light it up. Can you not? Can you not? Can you not? Can you not? Cops to the ops!
Guided!
A new generation!
Guided!
A new generation!
Guided!
A new generation!
This is Sparta!
I think most people, but certainly most young people, think that science is done by old white men in old white coats talking about old white things.
Yeah.
How do you fit into this world, or do you fit in?
I fit in with a big hammer to kind of crack the perceptions.
So to find a life, not intelligence and genetic inheritance, but alien communication. How would we know?
Let's just take a young Benjamin Zephaniah. Left school at 13, got in trouble with the police, was a bit of a Jack the Lad, but then found that I had a love for science. Could somebody like me get back on the educational path to learn about science, even if I've messed up a little bit?
Yeah, of course. Everyone can. It's just feeling what you feel comfortable doing and what you enjoy to. Well, you start with your interests. You start with what you're into, because no matter what, I realise people will do what they're into, regardless of what anyone else says. So if I want to look at the stars, I've got to go out there and look at them. And if I need a telescope, get one. If I can't afford one, find a society where they do it. And don't be afraid for people to tell you shouldn't do it. You can't. You just got to stay strong to your dreams, and hopefully there'll be people who's kind enough to help you. And you normally find them at least once in your life, but you have to keep your eyes open for them.
And in your personal journey, have you had any major struggles, obstacles to overcome?
Society can hold you back, yes, but I never let anything be an excuse for me. It's only me that has to make the difference. So if you really want to do it, don't believe you can't do it. Believe you can do it, you just got to find a way to do it.
Thank you very much.
I found an interest in biology. I was going to the Polytechnic once a week, but I was doing all the sort of homework with a full-time job, and I was still living in one room with my mother. And by 1961, I had 4 A-levels and 8 O-levels.
You must have had some challenges just in terms of your race alone. Have you ever come across, real straightforward, hard-nosed racism?
Well, for example, I wanted really to do a master's. And he said, I think you'd be better off going back to where you come from and planting bananas.
Wow.
And I then looked at him and said, yes, as far as I know, there are no bananas in Highbury. So, of course, I didn't get it. However, I saw an advert for a PhD opportunity in Edinburgh. And I applied, and I came up to this city. My link with this industry, when I look around, started in 1968. Wow. I'd finished my PhD on barley, and I went to the Brewing Research Foundation, this elite institution. There wasn't even a black person in Red Hill, much less in the Research Institute. And this was my first big break.
Right. I want to inspire lots of young people, especially black people, to be like you. What do I tell them?
I realized early that if I'm going to defend myself in any society, I need to be able to reason.
Yes.
What you need to tell the kids, that's what I told my kids. I want to educate you because I want you to be able to defend yourself.
I don't know how to put this. I'm going to put this really delicately. You know, you don't look like the average inventor, man. You look like the brother I'm going to hang out with and play some tunes with.
Yeah.
Do you find you fit in?
I think they were quite inspired by that, to see a young black guy kind of in their environment. I think I add a bit of flavour to their world.
So Tony, I want you to use your imagination now and think of the young Benjamin Zephaniah or somebody like me. How can I follow my dreams? I want to be an inventor. Where do I go?
You go inside, you realise your true potential. I'm sure that's how you became a poet. Yeah. It came from inside, yeah?
Yes,
and then the outside, it's the same thing with invention. You know, you have a passion to want to make things better. To change the way we use things. I run the Young Inventors Club. Basically what we do is we go into schools, secondary schools, and we talk to young people trying to kind of consider what careers they want to get into. We talk to them about engineering, science, design and technology and maths. When kids think of maths, generally, they think of some complicated numbers, but mathematics is the pressure in those tyres.
There are hundreds, thousands of young black kids out there.
Yeah.
How can they be inspired? What is it that's stopping them?
I think there's a lack of confidence amongst young people out there, big time. And I think that there's nothing out there that's really sort of, that they can relate to. Perhaps maybe they can relate to this. Right. When they see this, they see us two talking, they can say, well, I understand what Benjamin's saying, or I understand what Tony's saying. I always advise people that if you get a great idea, then why not put it in competition? I, myself, have been to the British Invention Show. I won a gold medal for my efforts, you know. That then gives me the confidence to want to take it to the next level.
Have there been any times when you felt like giving in and just felt, well, you know, I'm banging my head against a brick wall?
Yeah, I've banged my head against a brick wall, but I never ever give up. I'm too strong for that, resilient. You know, you've got to always be, you know, kind of like a champion to your cause, as you know.
I had a dream that I would explore space, discover a planet and call it the planet Rasta.
I didn't get to space, but I have made it to the Royal Observatory in Greenwich to meet one of the world's most famous space scientists, Maggie Pocock, and today she's giving me the grand tour.
The problems we're having in the city now seem quite trivial compared with the heavens above, really.
Well, it's in bigger figures, isn't
it? I know, that's it. We're talking millennia, we're talking sort of billions.
Billions and billions of light years and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And over there, they're worried about a few pounds.
I know, yes.
But I bet you Mars hasn't got a financial district.
That's why I want to retire to Mars. Look for their financial district.
Retiring to Mars. Yes. Not Jamaica.
You've got to have a big dream. I got the science bug when I was about 3 or 4.
3 or 4? Now, how could that happen?
Well, it was the clangers. And also, when I was growing up, I heard about the moon landings, people going to the moon, so it all seemed possible. One of the things I did when I was 15 is I made my own telescope. The first night when I sort of pointed it up at the moon, and there, suddenly, I could see the craters of the moon in amazing detail. It's just like, wham, you get it.
And how old were you when you said, right, you know, I'm going to really study this and look into it?
So I think that was sort of my GCSE, sort of 14, 15. Because until then, I hated school. Because of my dyslexia, it meant I wasn't progressing and I wasn't reading as well as I should for my age. And also, I didn't like reading, because reading was sort of a bit of a struggle. But then I started finding that I was sort of quite scientific, quite logical, and I started getting good grades in science. So I thought, hey, I've had the dream, but maybe the dream could become a reality.
You're not what I grew up to know as a typical scientist. What did people around you think?
I kept it secret because I didn't think I was going to make it. I thought people would just laugh at me. If you have a dream, it could be really hard work, but if you work hard enough, you can make it. I love my work. When I tell people I'm a sort of space scientist, I sort of do a double take. So what exactly do you do? Because they assume I'm sort of in admin or something. But no, I sort of get my hands dirty and I sort of build satellites and build instrumentation. And that's what I love doing. But what I want to do is try and get the message out there. Because I think the more people see different people from ethnic minorities, more women doing these jobs, we'll realise that anyone can do the jobs. It's having the passion for it and wanting to do it.
How would a young person that was inspired by you get into what you do?
Just find something you really love doing. If you do something you really enjoy, it's not really a chore at all. If you just start with looking at the night sky and taking that in, it's the start of a wonderful relationship. If you look across the globe, virtually every nation has a history of astronomy or wondering what's out there. When you look at the universe and the scale of the universe, you think, why on earth are we arguing? And I think that's what attracted me to space. It breaks down the barriers. You just see the Earth as a planet. We are just one people.
Tell me what the ship means to you, because to me it's just a big ship. To you it's something more than that, isn't it?
Well, yes. When I was a kid, my mother would take us to the Science Museum and I'd see this ship. It was just such a work of beautiful engineering and the fastest ship in the world at the time it was built, but also powerful and useful. It wasn't beautiful and useless, it was useful, I guess. And it was from Newcastle, and, that really did inspire me.
When I was a little boy, going around the park with a little girl, I would have been, freaked out if she looked at the ship and went, well, isn't that beautiful? A beautiful piece of engineering. I mean, what did other kids around you think at the time?
Let's remember, we were the only black family on a large working-class white council estate. Right. I was bizarre anyway. Right. So the fact that I liked engines and science and maths, the friends that I had, took me for what I was. Right. They had to. And
as a kid, did you think, in the future, I want to go into engineering, or did you just like it as a hobby?
I think really early on, maybe 7, 8 or 9, I wanted to be an engineer or a scientist because, there was never any doubt that I was going to have to earn my living. We had no money. And if you're going to earn your living, I wanted to do something that inspired me.
Give me an example of something that you've done that is working that's out there now.
Well, it's a bit of a confession, but I actually I've kept one of the first circuit boards that I designed myself and had manufactured. And what that did was to manage 32 telephone calls at one time on this piece of A4 circuit. And I'm really proud of that. That was like the Turbinia of telecommunications at the time, because it was all cutting edge. But now, now on the same size board, you could probably get 1,500 telephone conversations on that board. So it's great to see how things have moved on.
Why do you think there's not more people from the ethnic minorities and black people involved in the science and engineering?
I think it's something to do with the fact that there aren't black and minority ethnic engineers and scientists visible, so you don't get children being inspired. It's something to do also with the fact that, there aren't more black and minority ethnic physics and maths teachers. And it isn't a cool thing to do, which is why, we need poets and filmmakers and the media as well to say engineering and science is great.
It's like, I wanted to be like you. You are my hero. Is there a chance for me, or do I just forget it?
I don't believe it's ever too late. You don't have to have your A-levels. You can start, if you like, from the very beginning. For me, the very beginning is 1 + 1 = 2. If you can understand that, you can go forward step by step to learn the skills, you need to have a role in engineering and science. Engineering is absolutely everywhere. It's understanding the world about you, how it works, and being able to, to make a difference.
And now for something completely different.
Come on, that's a bunch of horse shit. Lando Calrissian was a black guy, you know. He got to fly the Millennium Falcon. What's the matter with you?
Who said that?
I did. Lando Calrissian is a positive role model in the realm of science fiction fantasy.
Fuck Lando Calrissian, Uncle Tom, nigga. Always some white boy gotta invoke the Holy Trilogy. Bust this. Those movies are about how the white man keeps the brother man down, even in a galaxy far, far away. Check this shit. You got cracker farm boy Luke Skywalker, Nazi poster boy, blonde hair, blue eyes. And then you got Darth Vader, the blackest brother in the galaxy, Nubian god.
What's a Nubian?
Shut the fuck up. Now, Vader, he's a spiritual brother, you know, down with the Force and all that good shit. Then there's Cracker, Skywalker. Gets his hands on a lightsaber, and the boy decides he's gonna run the fucking universe. Gets a whole clan of whites together. And they gonna bust up Vader's hood, the Death Star. Now what the fuck do you call that?
Intergalactic Civil War?
Gentrification. They gonna drive out the black element to make the galaxy, quote, unquote, safe for white folks. And Jedi's the most insulting installment, because Vader's beautiful black visage is sullied when he pulls off his mask to reveal a feeble, crusty old white man. They trying to tell us that deep inside, we all wants to be white.
Well, isn't that true?
I'll be back.